How low can they go? The Montreal Canadiens in Pittsburgh to take on the Penguins. It's time for the Talking Habs pregame show before every Montreal Canadiens hockey game. Previews, lineups, and the Guess the Score contest. Here's your hosts, Rick and Matt. Hey everybody, I'm Rick. Welcome to Talking Habs, where you get your daily fix of Bleu Blanc Rouge. So I will be all alone today. Matt is off today. It's Saturday. And so we got the Montreal Canadiens taking on the Pittsburgh Penguins in Pittsburgh in the third game of this three-game road trip. Montreal's 0-2-0 on this road trip. And overall, they're 0-0 and 0. They're just, it's not a very good year. We'll get through all the stats and all the pregame, the game preview stuff in a minute. Let's see if anybody is here. We'll got two people here. Any comments? Hey, Samuel. It's been a while. Daryl Adams. I think Edmondson comes back. You think Petrie will play a lot better? I imagine if he's still really hurt. I don't know. He's injured, and he's apparently he's injured pretty bad. So I don't know. I hope so. Hey, Habs Guru. How you doing? All right, so I got a preview for you. I got some stuff. I got a couple of things to talk about, and I guess we'll get right into it. Aren't I excited about this? Woohoo! All right, let's start with. All right, so we know Mattias Norlinder was in the game last night. The Habs went with 7 defensemen. And they didn't have a practice today, so as far as I know, they're going with 7 defensemen again, but we'll find out on a game time. So Mattias Norlinder was in the library. Norlinder's kind of known as, obviously, an offensive defenseman. He is good on the power play. And for, the coach, they had a 4-minute power play. The only power play there was in the game for them last night is a high sticking that drew blood, so it's 2 power plays, but it's 4 minutes. And he didn't see a second on the ice in the power play. I don't get that. I really don't get that. And I'll show you right here. So you can see he's on the bottom there. He had 13 minutes and 39 seconds overall time of ice, which is time on ice. That's pretty good. I mean, that's okay. But power play time on ice, nothing. If he's not here to check him out on the power play, I don't get it. I don't get it. Okay, I read a guy named Brian Wild. He does a column called Call of the Wild. He puts it out after every game. This was put out, I guess, last night. And it talks about Ducharme and why they're not going to fire Ducharme. And I've said this for a couple of reasons. You don't fire him right now. You don't. And Brian Wild agrees with me. So he says at some point in the column, let's start with the head coach, where the firing of Ducharme this year is nonsensical. The Canadiens are already eliminated from the playoffs this season. The Habs would have to have a record in the last 60 games of 43-17 to reach 98 points, which is about what they're going to need. 98 points to get a wild card spot. The best team in the league is not doing 43-17 more than likely. Surely the Canadiens are not. They're not making the playoffs. Therefore, it's not wise at all to start a new head coach during this season that is already lost. He would begin his tenure with 3/4 of a season that didn't matter. The organization would pay another coach as well for absolutely nothing in terms of important games. The club would also have fewer coaches in the prospect pool to choose from at this point in the season, considering coaches are in the middle of their season right now doing their jobs. It only makes sense that Ducharme takes this the rest of the season. There's no motivation whatsoever for a new head coach at this time. And this is very true. This is true. It's not. They're not firing the coach. Could Bergevin get fired? That's a different story, right? GM and coach, but the coach is not getting fired. I agree with that. I've been saying that, and as much as I think, no matter who you bring in, they're not going to make the playoffs. The task is almost impossible to do. And if you want to bring up the St. Louis Blues, well, they fixed their goalie problem by bringing in Jordan Binnington, and that set them off. I don't see how a simple solution like that's going to help Montreal Canadiens right now. It's not. There's too many things that are wrong. I just want to see if somebody is here. I'll wait on that till this person shows up. Okay, so let's get into the game. Unless I've got something else. Maybe I have something else here. I don't know. Well, the Pens beat the New York Islanders last night in New York, 1-0. Tristan Jarry with the shutout. He will not be making the start tonight. He made 25 saves. So they played last night. So at least they're on a bit of an even footing that way. New York Islanders, speaking of them, their games are postponed till at least November 30th. So their wording is at least, so it could go longer. They have 8 players right now and 2 personnel that are in COVID protocol. So I think it's probably about a week late for the Islanders. This should have happened at least a few days ago, if not a week ago. So that's the next team that's got delayed games. So we'll see what happens with that. Montreal has 12 points after 22 games. This is officially the worst season start in the history of the Montreal Canadiens. So, yay, they set a record. I don't know, that's a record you want to set. All right, let's get into our let's say hi for a minute. Filibuster, hey, buddy. Tank time. Wow, they're tanking. I don't even think they have to try. They're just doing it without having to try extra hard. The filibuster's 60-0. They're going to go, yeah. And then later tonight, you're going to be wrong, and you're going to have to say, well, 59-0. There always has to be a first. Yeah, not this year. Hey, Harry Rice, how's it going? 8-1 Pittsburgh, Sidney Crosby with the first. St. Louis was also only ever 5 points out of a playoff spot in 2019 because of how bad the Western Conference was. And that, in itself, is a huge stat. Montreal's dug themselves a hole that they cannot dig out of. They need a 10-game winning streak just to get to 500. That's not happening. All right, so we agreed on that. Let's get back to the game preview. Here's the game preview. Montreal will score 1 goal, and the Penguins will score the rest. How many? I don't know exactly, but Montreal will get 1 goal, and that's it. Crap out the rest of the night, and we're done. That's my prediction. That's a hot take. Not a very hot take because it's probably going to happen. All right, so this is what we got tonight. Montreal, 5-15-2, 12 points, 7th in the Atlantic. Pittsburgh, 10-6-4, 24 points, 5th in the Metropolitan. How to watch the game tonight? By the way, if you notice, it's 5 o'clock today I'm doing this because I just thought I'd give myself an extra hour for people to watch this because, more people should watch this. Yeah, and I just decided on Saturday. I think maybe Saturdays I'm going to be doing 5 o'clock pre-games. Okay, so how to watch. Start time, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard, 4 p.m. Pacific. In Canada, it's on CBC tonight, so you can watch it on TV. Sportsnet East in English and TVA Sports in French. In the Penguins region, ATTSN Pittsburgh. Legal streaming, ESPN Plus, NHL Live, RDS Direct, and TSN Direct. And on the other side of that is Sport Surge. Betting lines tonight. The spread for Montreal, if you take Montreal's plus 1.5, that'll get you minus 135. If you're taking Pittsburgh, it's minus 1.5. That'll get you plus 115, 115, that is. Money line, plus 170 for Montreal, minus 200 for Pittsburgh. The over-under is at 5.5. If you're taking the over, it's minus 120. And if you're taking the under, it's plus 100. The last time these two teams met, November 18th, not too long ago, a 6-0 win by Pittsburgh, a blowout. a horrible game for Montreal. It was in Montreal, and this one is in Pittsburgh. Will that make a difference or make it worse? I don't know. Last 10 games for these teams. Montreal 2-6-2 with they're on a 2-game losing streak. Pittsburgh 6-3-1 on a 5-game winning streak. Now, normally you'd look at that and go, well, that looks like, a winning streak that needs to stop. Probably do. And the other team, they should probably win. I don't see it that way this time. Montreal, I don't know how they win. Tail of the tape. Okay, we got the records already. Scoring chances for percentage, 49.9% in 16th place for Montreal. The percentage keeps coming down just by a little bit, but it's coming down. 52.7% for Pittsburgh, that's 8th. Goals per game, 2.18 for Montreal, 30th. 2.90 for Pittsburgh, 15th. Goals against per game, 3.64. That's for Montreal, 31st. And 2.50 for Pittsburgh, that's 5th. Power play percentage, another number that keeps coming down, 13.6% for Montreal, 28th, 11.9% for Pittsburgh, that's 30th. So a team with the worst power play. That's not happening very often. PK percentage, 68.7% for Montreal, a horrible PK right now, 29th in the league. And over on the other side, a pretty good PK, 90.2%, first in the league. Head-to-head this year, Montreal is 0-1-0 against Pittsburgh, and Pittsburgh is 1-0-0 against Montreal. What is this here? No, that's not really what I wanted. I had that up before. I'm in the wrong spot. Face-off percentage, 48.1% for Montreal, 25th. 49.9% for Pittsburgh, 15th. Although not a lot of difference there. It's a bit, but not a lot. Players to watch in the last 5 games for Montreal. I would call him Andre Lehkonen. Arturi Lehkonen, 4 points. Josh Anderson, 2 goals. Jonathan Drouin, 3 assists. And Christian Dvorak is a +2. On the Pittsburgh side, Gensel is got 6 points. He has also 3 goals. John Marino has 3 assists. And Teddy Bluger is a +6. Goalies for tonight in Montreal's net, Jake Allen, 4-9-1 with a 3.01 goals against and an 8.98 save percentage and 2 shutouts. And it should be Casey DeSmith with a 0-2-1 record, a 4.72 goals against and an 8.56 save percentage. So, I mean, if that's the case, here's a goalie with not a great record or goals against or save percentage. So maybe Montreal has a chance to score a goal or 2 or maybe more than 1 anyway. Team leaders. Goals, Josh Anderson with 5. Jake Gensel with 8 for Pittsburgh. For Montreal in points, Nick Suzuki, 15, and he's stuck on there again. And for Pittsburgh, Jake Gensel, 17. Average time on ice, Jeff Petrie still 23-31. And Chris Letang for Pittsburgh, 26-15. And wins Jake Allen 4, Tristan Jarry 10. Now we get to the lineup. Let's see what the lineup. And I don't know how they know this exactly because there weren't. There was neither team had practice today. There was no practice. So Suzuki in between Drew and Caulfield, Dvorak in between Toffoli and Anderson, Evans in between Lehkonen and Gallagher, Paling and Armia, and then the 7 defensemen, Romanov and Savard, Niku and Weidman, Sherratt and Petrie, I missed that somehow, and Norlinder this time on the outside looking in. Jake Allen is the starter for Pittsburgh. Crosby in between Gensel and Rodriguez, Carter in between Zucker and Kapanen, Boyle in between Simon and Heinen, Bluger in between Aston Reese and McGinn. You got Dumoulin and Letang together, Pedersen and Marino, Matheson and Ruedel, DeSmith and Nets, and there you go. There you go. Let's see what we got here. Where was I? Snakes on a plane. Hey, Snakes on a plane. Do you think we should claim Murray? No, we don't have the money for it, really. And from what I understand, Murray's not the same after having COVID. I don't know what his health is, so I don't know. It's a fair question to ask. Definitely is. The thing is, how long is Price out for? Because when Price comes back, you got to get rid of that contract because you need to make room for him. So, is Price coming back? If he is, when? And if not, well, then if not, yeah, I don't see why not. For leave it to the off season to see what to do with him after that. But yeah, maybe. But I'm questioning what his health is after after his COVID. So chocolate. Chocolate. You know how much I love chocolate? That chocolate shows up in the chat. Yeah. If I ever met a girl named Chocolate, I don't know, it would be a problem. I don't know where to go with that, but 14 people. I have a feeling by the time we get to the end of the season, there'll be like 2 people in the room. Nobody will be interested anymore. I'm afraid of that. That's going to happen. What can you do? I'm going to be here. The only games I'm not here for are the 2 Chicago Blackhawks games. I'm boycotting the Hawks. Excuse me. And the 2 Winnipeg Jets games because I'm boycotting the Winnipeg Jets. Other than that, I'm here. Hoping we don't get spanked tonight on the game I'm able to watch. Yeah, listen, Lucas, I hope for your sake too, but listen, they got to win a game here and there, right? I mean, they're going to win a game here and there. So maybe this is the night where the Pittsburgh isn't on. They played last night, and Montreal just they're better for a little bit, and they win. I mean, I don't know. I don't hold out hope. Lemonhead. I'm surprised Petrie hasn't been scratched yet. Me too. Savard as well. Yeah. Well, they can't do too many because they don't have defensemen, but Petrie needs to sit and get healthy. Chocolate. Sad time to be a Habs fan. Yep, it is. It's a sadder time to be me having to be here every night doing this. It's tough, man. It's very depressing. And tonight, I'm tired tonight. I barely slept last night. Just one of those nights. And I hope I stay awake through this. Unless they're winning, I mean, that'll keep me going, I imagine. But, boy, it's going to be tough tonight. This team is making history. Not the kind of history we want to be part of, though. But you're right. Right now, they are. It's the worst start in their history. If they keep it up, it'll probably be the worst season. I don't know the numbers behind that, how low they have to finish or how many points to make it the worst. But I guess they're on pace for it, right? After a while, though, it becomes worst season in an 82-game schedule because the start is easy. It doesn't matter how many games they played. You can judge the starts against each other, but not at the end of the year. So in an 82-game schedule, I would imagine this is going to be their worst finish, and it may even be the worst in like anything over 70 games. Who needs to go, in my opinion? Bergevin, Ducharme, or both? Yeah, I'm leaning at both. The thing is at the timing of it, right? No, Ducharme, there's no chance for them to make the playoffs. There's no chance. So getting rid of the coach now, it's not an ideal situation. You could get stuck with a guy that maybe you don't really want, and somebody better comes along in the offseason and you rushed and all that. So no, Ducharme, no. Bergevin, I kind of think's got to go before the trade deadline. So we're on pace to win 20. I have it at 20 games, that they're on pace for a 20, 54, and 8 season. I know in my lifetime I've never seen that bad of a season, so I know that this is will be the worst season record-wise in their modern history anyway, in their last 50 years. It's unfortunate, and I don't like talking about them negatively, but I don't know how else you're going to talk about them. But, we're going to watch the game, and you got to take away whatever positives that they present us with, because there's not going to be a ton. And, it's the way it's going to be. There's no miracle that's going to change the situation at this point. They're 5-15 and 2. That's 10 games under 500. They got to win 10 games in a row just to get back to 500, to have a chance to even do something, and that's not going to happen. Change the coach, change the GM, it doesn't matter. Change ownership, it's not going to change that this year. It's unfortunate, but yeah, Chocolate, I'm not really happy with the way they're dealing with Norlinder. They're not going to use him properly, and just say, like, okay, he had over 13 minutes of ice time, but if they're not using him properly in that 13 minutes, then what's the use? Send him back to Sweden, where he can continue to develop. I don't know. His confidence can't be good. I mean, imagine a guy who's supposed to be, a power play specialist almost. They don't even give him a second on the power play. The only one they have, a long one, and they don't give him a second. And it's not like it was a good power play, right? They got one shot in 4 minutes with the man advantage. So why not give that kid a chance? So, everything points to freaking coaching staff, but they're not getting rid of him yet. Well, Lemonhead, I don't think Petrie is finished. So to say, yeah, it's his worst season by far, obviously. But a guy like that, he's obviously been around a long time. You can write that off to a bad season, injuries, and all kinds of things. Next year, I don't expect the same thing from Petrie. So, and I think when Edmondson does get back, Petrie maybe can sit for a few games and get healthier. He'll look better. But I agree, Romanov and Norlinder, yeah, I don't. Kulak is tradable, unfortunately, but he is. I think he's underrated, but I think he has to be put on the table because, yeah. And then again, you have to have guys playing around the kids, so he could stay for that. And his contract's affordable. Although he's a free agent next year. He's a UFA next year, so that's something to consider. Harry, 100%. And Weidman, yeah, getting 8 points. I think if he doesn't lead the defenseman, he's second. You can't sit him at that point. Nobody else is producing anything from the back end. But there's room to put Norlinder in there. There's a lot of room. Yeah, he's like the players are kind of they're running around like they're lost. I don't know. Is it that Ducharme is he's way over his head? I mean, it seems like he's just way over his head. Something is something is what did he, what's the I'm looking for a saying. I don't know what it is. Something about Norway. Hey, Petty, how's it going? It's been a little bit. Go Pens, go. Can't blame you on that. Corey Parrish, hey, buddy. As a non-biased fan, would Montreal be willing to move Anderson? He could still have potentially higher value regardless of his numbers, in my opinion. Yeah, I know, but I think Anderson's the kind of guy you got to keep here. I don't, first of all, he's got a lot of term left. I don't think that makes it a very easily movable contract. Excuse me. So I think he's got to stay, and I want to keep Anderson. I like the way he plays. I like what he brings. Not easy to get that in a big guy, so I think he offers more value here than on the trade market, personally. But that's my opinion. Lemonhead. No, I don't. First of all, um, it was a different team. It was in the playoffs, and things can happen like that in the playoffs. I mean, I don't know how else to say it. They caught fire. They probably peaked at the right time. There's a lot of things to say that I don't know why they. Maybe because he hadn't had a chance to really get his system in place, that it wasn't too difficult for them. And because I tend to think that this system is complicated, and that's why they look lost. They don't get it. It's not being communicated well, or they don't understand it for some reason. Something's, or he lost the room, one of the two. So, but no, I mean, I think you see, you're saying the leadership that's a lot of leadership lost, right? And that helped them in the playoffs having that leadership there. Were they coaching necessarily? No. But remember, these guys have been playing hockey their whole lives. They kind of know what to do in general, right? So I don't know. All I know is he ain't doing the job this year. There's a lot of things in play, injuries, and it's a different team, and there's a lot of things in play. But I mean, to be this bad still, 22 games in, yeah, I don't know. I don't get it. I've seen some bad coaching and some bad results, but man, this takes the cake. And it's too bad. Lucas, but again, I kind of think that's contract. I don't know how you're going to move that contract, right? There's what, there's going to be 6 years left on it. And it's a lot of money. It's a guy that is, he's not going to be getting better over that time. And I just don't think you can move that contract at this. Maybe this year, but not the way he's playing. So, no. And besides, I really think Galley should be, at this point, Galley needs to be named captain. I know I'd called for Petrie and all that in my video, but I think at this point, Galley kind of, I think Galley's the guy. NHL should have Black Friday sales on players' contracts. How would that work? That's the thing. How would that work? I don't know. That would be freaking complicated. So I doubt they never even consider that. And we're getting some people in, not people in and out. I guess it's weird that I'm on here at 5. So even if Ducharme goes, our options are very limited. It's either Roy, Boucher, Burroughs, and or Babcock, but I hope not. Definitely not Babcock. Babcock speaks French. Unfortunately, he would qualify because he speaks French. I know he went to McGill. He spent a lot of time in Montreal. He's apparently he speaks French. So, but Babcock's not coming here. Burroughs, has Burroughs done enough of a job with what he's got here right now, like the power play, that you want to say make him the head coach? No, and he's English, so as far as I know, that won't work. Lucas, no, I don't know about Nick Suzuki yet. If he would have had like this crazy good season, maybe, but I think not. I think down the road it'll be Suzuki, but now I think it would be Galley. Yeah, Bruce Boudreau's name gets thrown out, Harry, because it sounds like he's French, but he's not. So Boudreau, I don't think is in the running, and I don't want him here either. Alex Burrows is French. Oh, okay, I didn't know that. I wasn't sure. So I guess Burrows, but like, okay, that's fine. But what has he done as the coach of the power play to make you want him to be the head coach? Like nothing. Power play is worse than under Julian. Nope. I would, or I should say, under Muller. Muller's got a great power play going in Calgary, so no, Burrows is not going to be the head coach. And you never know, right? In the off season, first of all, if Bergevin's moving, you kind of you want the new guy, if there's a new GM, to be naming his coach, not having somebody else's coach, because then we're in for another coaching change more than likely. Not long after, I don't know. I think it's another reason why you don't move the coach. You can maybe name someone interim, but if you're going to be bringing in a new GM, you want the new GM to name his coach. Yeah, no, there's no new head coach coming in right now. I bet on I'm not a betting man, but I kind of would bet on that. I really would. In the off season is different. I don't see there's any way. I don't see any way Ducharme can coach his way back into being able to coach again next year here. How much can he come back from this? Not enough, I don't think. We'll see. I mean, I hope he doesn't. At this point, let's get a good draft pick, and maybe we'll get good picks in each round. So we'll see what happens. But I do believe Bergevin will get fired. But again, if you fire Bergevin, say tomorrow, right? They lose today, you fire Bergevin tomorrow. You bring in a new guy. You're going to be bringing in a new guy and asking him kind of to hold off, don't do much, take the heat that you're going to get for why aren't you doing anything? So you kind of want to time everything. So I think you bring in a new guy near the trade deadline so that he can start working. Yeah, Lemonade. I think I kind of think if when Bergevin goes, they're gonna bring in. Well, I hope they bring in a hockey operations guy. I hope. It wouldn't surprise me if they don't, though. Nothing surprised me anymore, I guess. No, but I hope they do because that's the way to go. And that guy can be English because he won't have to deal with the media that much, right? So it won't matter if he's English or French. You bring in the best available guy for that, whatever language he speaks, and go from there. Let that guy bring in the GM and let the GM bring in a new coach. Jeff Molson does not care. Well, it looks like it. Yeah, I don't know that if his hands could be tied right now too. He might be told that no, listen, you can't make deals right now. Right? As much as I don't think Bergevin would really intentionally make trades at this point to hurt the team, but I don't know. Is it a good thing to do that, to let your lame duck GM try to transform the team before he goes? I don't know. That's a good idea. So we're in for a long season. We're in for a long season. That's all. A lot of lousy games. We'll have to find a way to get through it because I don't see it changing. Hell, at this point, I don't want it to change. They don't have a chance to make the playoffs. Well, then go for the bottom of the league because you want a good draft pick. And you never know. Could win the lottery. Might end up with the first pick. Don't know, but you'll get a good pick at least. And then if they blow it at that point, oh my God. I do think, though, when Bergevin goes, I imagine Timmins is going to go. You got to kind of clean house in the management. Drafting. You got to clean house. Saltwater crocodile. We're stuck with Savard for 4 years. We are. I mean, who's going to take that contract? Unless this dude all of a sudden starts to play better, who's going to take it? And then, well, if he plays better and can keep that consistently, then you want to keep him. But, yeah, we're probably stuck with that. 3 more years after this one. Karl Alzner 2.0. If he has any pride in himself, crap, he'll play better. Where's the physical play from this guy? Wasn't he advertised as being like a physical player? He can replace that part of Weber's game. I haven't seen it. I haven't seen that at all. So if he can't provide that for this team, he has no background of being able to put points up on the board of any kind of consistency or number. So you're not getting that from the guy. So you're just getting a guy that comes in and cashes checks. Pretty much. There's no room on a team for that. At least not a team that has aspirations, at least, to be good. Savard looks like he's coasting after winning a cup, doesn't care to win. What do you mean? He hasn't won a cup here? And no, that's not. If you're saying with Chicago back in 2010, no. That's too long in the past for him to still be coasting. He made a lot of bad moves in the end. They were bad moves. At that point, that's when the GM, it's his time to go. Even after going to the Stanley Cup Finals the year before, when you make the kind of moves that I guess that he's made, none of them have paid off. I'm trying to think who's come in. Jake Allen's the only one that paid off last year. I'm talking now this year. Hoffman didn't really get a chance yet, so we don't know. Damn, I'm trying to think. Pretty much that's it. Nobody's really paid off that he's, and it seems like some of these guys were brought in strictly on where they were born. And, that's not, very good. Oh, Savard. I was reading that as Bergevin. I'm sorry. I'm totally sorry there, Saltwater. I don't know where I see the Savard. In my head it was Bergevin. No, you're right. He doesn't seem like, yeah, coasting is a good, like, he doesn't seem like he cares to. So is that like, is he confused about the system? That's what I don't know. Is the system, like, someone was telling me about someone wrote a column about it, or it was some hockey analyst talking about it, that the system is too complicated. I mean, it looks like that's the problem. They're running around because they don't know where to be and they're not sure where to be. And then I read that stuff yesterday in yesterday's pregame about how he describes, when you miss your assignment and all that leaks, and it leaks. And it's very complicated. When I read it, it's like, to me, that's very complicated. No wonder these guys they don't know where the hell they are. So I don't know. I'm not there. I'm not in the room. I'm not an insider, so I don't know for sure, but the proof is in the pudding on the ice. All right, I think I'm going to take off here now. Savard is Karl Alzner 2.0, French, in French. Yeah, I guess. Hey, Mel LeBlanc, it's been a while. It's unfortunate. I don't know how that got through the cracks. The only thing you can say is, well, at least it's about $1 million less than Alzner was. So we got Alzner 2.0 cheaper than Alzner 1.0. And I don't know. He might be worse than Alzner. All right, I'm going to take off here because I got a bunch of things to do. So I'll be back at 7 o'clock like normal. Game is at 7. We're in Pittsburgh tonight, and back-to-back games. Pittsburgh's on back-to-back games, so maybe that'll help. I don't know. We'll see. But hopefully there's some good stuff happens, and we can have a good time and enjoy the game and find some kind of positives somewhere in this game. All right, so let me just read what Lemonade said. Yeah, I mean, the line changes are beginning to get a little crazy. It reeks of desperation. All right, so I'll see you in an hour and 20 minutes. A little different today because I started early. So I want to thank everybody for being here. Thank you, and hope you enjoyed it. Give a thumbs up on the way out. I'd appreciate that. And we will hook up again at 7 for the game. Till then, stay safe, and I will see you at 7. Peace out, everybody. See you in a bit. Bye, y'all.